Carl Levin's committee, he's the Democratic senator from Michigan, is investigating the financial meltdown. They're actually doing a very good job. Rare committee in Congress that's actually getting into the nitty-gritty. And what they've got is they're building evidence, and they're building a paper trail of the things the bankers actually did. Now, they have the authority to do that. So they've collected emails. Now, the Goldman Sachs people thought they were cute. And when asked, hey, why don't you send your emails over because we gave you TARP money, et cetera, we want to see what kind of deals you made, they sent over 20 million pages. So they sent everything they've ever had, right? They're like, good luck, right? And they probably shuffle the papers around, and good luck if you can find it, right? But you know what? Levin's committee found it anyway. So they've got these devastating quotes from Goldman Sachs. So first off, the main argument that Goldman Sachs was making when they got charged by the SEC with fraud was, oh, no, you don't understand. On that particular deal, we actually lost money. So, no, poor us. We weren't trying to make a lot of money. We just happened to get on the wrong side of that deal. Well, here's an email directly from the CEO of Goldman Sachs, Blankfein. He says, quote, we lost money, then made more than we lost because of the shorts. The shorts are when they bet against all the securities that they set up, which they knew were junk. All right, here are more quotes. Here's Chief Financial Officer David Vinier. He says, he talks about a trade where they made $50 million betting against those terrible mortgages, which they knew to be terrible. He says, tells you what might be happening to people who don't have the big short. Telling everybody, short everything. Bet against the market. Bet against the mortgages. They know because they set up a lot of those mortgages, right? They know it's garbage. So quote number 3. One staffer reported the good news that wipeout of one security and the imminent collapse of another meant that Goldman would make $5 billion from a bet against the instruments it had set up and sold. He's saying, good news, this instrument we put together collapsed. Now, why is that good news? You put it together. Because they bet against it and made $5 billion. Okay? Now, quote number 4, I can keep busting them up all night long. Here is Goldman Sachs executive Donald Mullen in a separate series of emails in October 2007. He says, you know, on the question of are they making money or losing money on these shorts, he says, quote, sounds like we will make some serious money. And he's not kidding. There was a $5 billion from before, and get a load of this. In a 4th email, an employee noted that the bank would make serious money, as I just explained, betting against the $32 billion of mortgage-backed securities that were downgraded by credit ratings agencies. $32 billion of securities they set up, Goldman did. Then they bet against them. They lose their credit rating, they crater, and Goldman makes $5 billion. You understand how the scam works now? And somebody lost that $5 billion. Okay? And Goldman knew it all along. You could tell from the internal emails. So now that we've done actual investigation, great job. Guess what the conservatives and the Republicans are doing? They're squealing. Squeal, squeal. Say, oh, no, don't hurt our banker friends. What are you doing? This is highly inappropriate to actually do an investigation. Highly inappropriate. Here's Bill Kristol on Fox News, who's just livid about this. Clip number 4.
Do you think the Democrats were as confident as they pretend to be? They wouldn't be releasing emails. I mean, what is that about? That wasn't leaked. The Senate Banking Committee, if I'm not mistaken, simply released private emails from Goldman Sachs.
I don't think it was the I think it was Levin's Committee on Investigation.
Senator Levin's committee. I'm sorry, but Senator Levin authorized the staff to release emails that had provided to this investigating Senate committee ostensibly on the grounds that the committee was doing a serious investigation. Then they release emails that are simply, they say, embarrassing. It's an outrage, actually. This is now any business in the United States has to worry that any email sent anywhere at some point, 3 years later, if that can be made to look embarrassing to a chief executive who's testifying Tuesday, and I say this as no fan of Goldman Sachs, but Lloyd Blankfein's testifying Tuesday, and they want to embarrass him and put him on the spot, and they release these emails. Well, the core issue here is an issue of the rule of law and this notion that this bill increases executive authority and discretion so much that it, as opposed to other ways of fixing the financial crisis through the bankruptcy code and the like, that it's bad to increase the authority, the discretion of the government in Washington this much. That's the core objection to the bill and the core dispute over the bill. For President Obama to pretend that the only reason you might dislike this bill is if you were interested in bilking people, as he said, that's really ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous when you read the emails, and the core here is not the release of the emails, it's the content of the emails, and the emails reveal that they're saying that people at Goldman Sachs are saying, you know what, we're going to make money while investors are losing money. In fact, we're going to have a windfall, they say in these emails. That is the outrage, in case you missed it, and that's why public outrage over the behavior by these Wall Street titans is over the top. And I might add, you know what else? It's upset that they're going to do it again.
Shouldn't Senator Levin's emails be released? He's the public official. I mean, if he believes that everything should be transparent, let's see his emails to his staff when they discuss whether to embarrass Lloyd Blankfein or not.
Oh, are we embarrassing your best friend, Lloyd Blankfein? Not that he's any fan of Goldman Sachs. No, 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 no. He just happens to be reporting straight outside of their, out of their ass. He's like, how can you embarrass them by showing that they robbed people of $5 billion? That's so embarrassing. Please, could you stop them embarrassing them when they've stolen taxpayer money? I mean, that defense of Goldman Sachs was hilarious. They got those emails perfectly legally. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. It's called an investigation. Remember, Goldman Sachs got charged with fraud. That's exactly what you're supposed to be doing, going through their emails. But of course, Fox News can't have it. Bill Kristol can't have it. Oh, no, 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 please, please leave Goldman Sachs alone. What did they ever do except take all the money and commit fraud? And the emails showed that they knew it. Oh, no, 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 put the emails back. Instead, we should be investigating the guys who are investigating them. That's Fox News in a nutshell for you right there.